Hi, my name is Destiny Rodriguez and I am 23 years old and I live in Council District 8. I attend Long Beach City College and I'm very passionate about creating change in my community.
Hi, my name is Elijah Badgett and I'm 17 years old and I represent District 4. I go to I Lead Exploration Independent Study and I'm very passionate about hiking and pickleball.
Hi, my name is Isabella Rodriguez. I'm 19 and I represent Council District 5. I go to Long Beach City College and I'm passionate about musicals and bringing educational opportunities into my city.
Welcome to Youth Voices, a space where young people from Long Beach share our perspectives on the issues that matter most to us.
Let's get into it. What does mental health mean to you?
Mental health means taking care of your peace, taking care of yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually. It's about knowing when you need to rest and when you actually need to speak up for yourself and say like, no, I need a break.
That's good. I agree with that. I mean, to me, and I like that because it's kind of all-encompassing, and mental health is all-encompassing because it interacts with everything you do, right? The way you dress, how you do schoolwork, how you interact with friends and family. Right now I'm in the middle of college application season, and so that's a time where it's very easy for me to say, you know what, I've got 30 essays to write, I've got a million activities to fill out, I've got the Common App, and to say, you know what, mental health, I'll just put you on a shelf.
Yeah.
And that can be tempting because we think, oh, we have to spend time on mental health, I don't have time for that. But in reality, because mental health interacts with everything you do, if you don't prioritize it, it's actually gonna hurt the things that you do in your life. So if I didn't care about my mental health, my Common App probably wouldn't look quite as good as if I did, you know?
I think it helps like to balance everything and find ways to balance like how you cope with all these emotions, especially with like Common App and college essays, and being able to like take a step back and realizing like having space, holding space with yourself.
Yeah, I agree. How do you guys hold space like that? Like, do you try and find time for that in your everyday life? What do you guys do?
I do. I try to like make a schedule and like prioritize deadlines for school and then dates. I have like a shift at my job. I like to like find little pockets of my time where I can fit in a walk or like watch a YouTube video that I love. Something, it's going to be sometimes small. I know to have expectations that it might not always look 50-50 to balance all my time, but just even having 10 minutes can help me a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I actually like what you talked about with those small breaks, because yesterday I just had such a frustrating day, long day at school. I left my computer at home. I accidentally broke a plate, and so it was just I was just in such a bad mood. And so I just told myself, you know what? I'm gonna take 15 minutes and I'm just not gonna do anything. And I took a warm bath, I read my New Yorker, and after I was done with that, I was in such a good mood and I was so much happier. So even though it's not, taking a big chunk of time, that really improved my mental health so much.
Because it builds up, I feel like, if you just hold all of it in.
Yes. Do you ever feel like, you have to take a break?
I do. So to me, I feel like I need to take a lot of breaks, but sometimes I don't know how. Especially with being a mom and trying to get so much done. Like, I go to school and I go to work too, so I feel like I can never take a break, or I just don't want to take a break. Like if I take a break, I'm never gonna get it done, or I'm never gonna get something done. And so, I feel like I need to learn actually how to manage that more better.
That's true.
Management is good.
Me too.
Yeah, I know. That's always the tough one. It's tough to put energy into something when your mental health generally kind of deteriorates the more energy you're putting into other things.
Yeah, I know, it's difficult.
Have you guys found any specific things that really affect your mental health a lot? Either good or bad?
Being on social media, like being on my phone, regardless, like that, I feel like that affects my mental health a lot. I know it probably does to a lot of other people, but especially as a mother, like I'm on my phone, my kids are watching, Mom, why are you on your phone? And I'm like, okay. So I feel like, especially TikTok.
Oh yeah.
No, I get it.
And then it gets in your head and you're just scrolling, and then right now it's like going, some group, something is going viral on TikTok.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of it? It's like group 4, 5, 6,
6, 7? Oh.
And so
We got the 6-7.
No.
oh, so it's like to me right now, it's like, oh, it's so now it's they got my attention because now I'm in group 7. Now everybody's going down my timeline. Oh, well, now you're in group blue, and I keep going, and you're just like, what? Like, what is going on?
So much information.
And it like drains you at the same time because like you want to take a break, but then it's like you can't
Exactly.
because it just has you there.
Yeah.
I mean, I have taken a break from social media, which I'm happy. I've kept my streak for more than a year now, but I remember when I used it a lot, it was, you weren't happy when you used it. You kept doing it because you get a boost of dopamine, but in reality, I just sit there almost comatose, and it's like scroll, and there's nothing really that makes you actually happy about it.
Yeah.
And I remember I'd shut my computer off, and I'd realize, oh my goodness, I'm down to 3%. I started at 80%, and now it's dark outside. And so for me, when I started realizing that and connecting that social media and really being on screens in general wasn't something that made me that happy, this summer I was using my iPad a lot, and one day it ran down to 0. And so at that moment I just thought, you know what, I'm not going to plug it in. I just put it away for the entire summer, and I felt so much better, and I was so much more productive because I'd even come home from a long day at work, and in the past I would have just collapsed in bed and scrolled until bedtime. But I was like, well, now I don't really have an option to do that. And I felt so much more energized, actually, which surprised me.
Yeah, I kind of had an epiphany like that too, this summer too, because I felt so drained. And so I was looking into like different things, supplements, like sleeping, melatonin, all of this, magnesium. I was told online that it helps with like sleeping. And so one thing I realized too is that I'm drained in all these different aspects. Like I can try to figure out how to sleep and like get 8 hours, but then I'm also drained from being on my phone all the day, all the time, and then just scrolling so much. It's so much information at once. It's so draining that I realized like that's kind of not helping me. So I think one thing I've done, it's so difficult, but not to grab your phone the moment you wake up. Like I've gotten an analog. I got an analog alarm clock. That way I can wake up with that instead, because the moment I have a digital one, I turn it off and I open it up and then go on TikTok and then check my email. So I have to like go back to the basics, I feel like.
I agree.
Really
I think
good.
that's why I have to write everything instead of try to type everything. Because they're like, oh, just type it. I'm like, no, I need to write it out, because then my brain's just gonna want to scroll on something else on my phone.
That's true.
Absolutely.
I know I have to.
That's good.
Even like screen time, like putting the passcode in, I know the passcode, so then I'll unlock it. Like I just have to tell myself that when I do it, it does not make me feel like good or productive. So I just have to put it aside.
Yeah. No, it's pretty wild and painful, and
It's difficult.
To me, what's especially difficult when it comes to social media is it's always there.
Yeah.
Even if I can put away my iPad during the summer, when it's school time, I have to write Google Docs. I have essays to write, and so it's always just one tab away. I can just type in YouTube, and there it is.
That's
and
true.
so it's difficult because it's in a lot of ways kind of inescapable. And so, like you were talking about, even if you try very hard, there's still so much self-control involved, because it's just always there.
Also with like Canva and Google Classroom, like that, all that stuff, all of our homework is online now. Quizlet, anything to study with, it's all online, so that we can't even avoid it if we wanted to. So it's so difficult to have like a low screen time, or like cut out like computers and laptops, TikTok, all of that all at once, because it's almost impossible. We can't. Yeah.
Really tough. Well, we've touched on it a little bit, but I mean, in your guys' day-to-day, how do you actually prioritize your mental health?
For me, the way that I prioritize my mental health, so I'm a mom, so I always have to answer to mom. So I'm like, yes. And so sometimes, not specifically towards them, but in general with everything, so you have to say no to some things. Like you can't always go out there and serve people when you're not right yourself. So you have to prioritize yourself and say no, so that you can take a yes day for yourself.
That's true.
I agree. No, that's good. I agree with that so much, and I think it takes a lot of fortitude to say no. It's kind of a difficult thing. I think for me, when it comes to prioritizing my mental health, I'm kind of a believer in the idea that if your car has a problem, you can't fix it from the front seat. And so if you have a mental problem, you can't outthink it, right? If you have a headache, you can't think about your headache enough to make it go away. And so I try and find a lot of external solutions. For me, I have a group of people that I've gone hiking with every Tuesday for the last 10 years. And so even though it's tough, I'm in college application season saying, you know what, I'm going to take that 4 hours and go on a hike with them. So beneficial. Or going to play pickleball. I love pickleball, and that really having that physical thing to do where it's not about your mind, it's just about moving. That really helps me a lot too. And so I try and find sort of an external way to help with my mental problems.
I love tennis. I'm not good at it, but I love playing tennis. Just being active, that helps. I think also like reading books. I did a lot of books on PDFs, but that's on my laptop. So I've tried to do now, like get books that in the physical copy of it. I also love like Atomic Habits. I know that one's kind of like a basic book.
No,
a lot of people
basic.
read
People
it,
love it.
but I feel like that's also a good way to like break the cycle of different habits, especially like with your phone. So that has helped me. Also recognizing that like it's an issue is a good way to just even start the conversation.
Yeah, I agree with going out a lot. My son, he's into sports right now. So I love sports growing up. I was like a little tomboy. And so I know, a lot about sports too. So we'll go outside, we'll play, soccer, basketball, football. And to me, that helps me in a way, like just being outside. Because, when you're outside a lot, it helps you with your mental health too.
That's good.
I also think, and even though this one can kind of seem almost a little bit counterintuitive, a lot of times when I have mental health problems, I'm thinking a lot about myself, and it's like my applications, my grades, my room, my pets, whatever. And so to me, what's also really helpful is to kind of try and serve others, to go out and just take time to volunteer, or even something as simple as going and doing the dishes and being like, you know what, I'm just going to do that for my family. Because then you kind of have a moment of humility that, for me at least, it makes me realize as much as my mental struggles or just the things I'm going through can take over my world, the world isn't about me.
That's
and
true.
So that it helps to refocus it on other people.
I kind of love that idea. I feel like I do the same at my job. Like I'm usually in the front of house, but I love to go to the back of house and just wash dishes, just to have like some time to be alone and be able to realize like all of my struggles might not be like everything going on, and realizing and focusing on doing something else. Like I love that. I feel like that's one of the best ways to kind of help with mental health.
I like that. So I think that brings us to our last question. What should be done to support youth mental health? For me, what I feel like should be done to support youth mental health, I feel like schools should allow mental health days, just like we have days out when we're sick. I feel like sometimes we need to reset and clear our minds, and I feel like that would be like something really big for youth. Like that would help them a lot. Taking a break from school and it being excused.
I like that idea, but I also find it like I want to do something in school as well, because I know after COVID, Long Beach reported that they had a majority of minority students like not dropping out of school, like having a very high absent rate. And so I feel like that also pushes us back as a city with educational programs. So I want to do something about mental health, because I feel like school is so like kind of like sometimes a reason why we have a lot of our stresses, but I want to find a way to like still be able to be open and want to go to a school setting. Like maybe having, like I know you talked about how you did a program with a training, right?
Is it mental health? I think it was like mental health, a youth mental health aider. And so they offered, it was like a one-day program. It was about 5 hours, and we did a whole big training with a bunch of us. And so I feel, I see where you're coming from. I feel like that would be a good thing to add into schools for the counselors, for the staff, so they can know when to address it and how to address it, like to avoid a crisis, and ask, like, don't be afraid to ask the questions if needed. And so I feel like that's something good to add into schools. So,
I love that idea.
I feel like that's a good way to support youth mental health.
That's good. Me too. I like both of these, and I think where I'd also add on to that is where I know schools, you know, there's a certain amount of academic things they have to do. They have to do tests, essays. You can't just, you know, put that aside. But also maybe beginning to put things like art and creativity and time outside and nature on a maybe a little bit of a higher rung on the priority ladder makes it so that students kind of have more balance. Because I'm an artist, I love to craft and make things and build models. And I find when I do that, kind of your mind goes blank a little bit and you're just invested in that thing you're doing there. And whenever I'm done, I'm filled with kind of a sense of peace. And so I think having schools or the community through, you know, art programs or hiking groups provide opportunities for youth to do things that aren't so academic, aren't related to, you know, intellectual things and are really more physical, would really improve youth mental health. I also think anti-social media initiatives could be useful. I know that's difficult because, you know, social media, everyone loves it. And it's difficult, you know, schools who've implemented the no phones thing, that's tough. You know, kids don't like it, parents are concerned about it, but to a certain degree, I've known many friends who, once they've been forced to get off social media, it's improved academic performance and just their mood in general.
I agree with that. I've taken like social media breaks like a month, 2 months, and I feel like it's helped me so much.
What about social media specifically makes you feel like it impacts your mental health in a negative way?
I feel like you're looking at people the way that they're living on social media, and social media is fake. So people are like, I want to live like that. I want to do exactly what they're doing, but you're not knowing that that's not really what they're doing. And especially right now with AI, ChatGPT, Gemini AI, like they're making all these photo shoots and everything, and you're like, oh, I want to look like that, or I want to do this, and it affects a person in a way because we're not knowing. Sometimes we can't tell whether it's real or fake. And
so I think it's like comparison is so bad.
I mean, I had a close friend, and this really, when I think about how unreal social media is, this is what I always come back to. Her social media posts were, you know, it'd make it seem like she was living a super fun, ideal life, but because I knew her closely, and she told me, like, at that time she was struggling severely with depression. And so you would think, looking at her social media, wow, I'd love to live like her. But that doesn't show the fact that in reality, no, her life wasn't this amazing thing that she was showing on social media. And so kind of having that shift of realizing it's not just the big influencers that are kind of tricking you about how life should be. It's even people close to you just putting out the idealistic version of how they live.
Yeah, that's true.
Mental health is something that connects us all.
And every story helps build understanding and change. Don't forget to check out our next episode
where more youth share their ideas and experiences. Stay connected and keep using your voice.